stop treating his joystick like a remote control you are trying to find the batteries for, and start treating it like the most exclusive VIP pass to his entire emotional world. Now look, I know what you are thinking, Matthew. Why are we talking about the hardware when we usually talk about the heart and the mind? But the reality is, this intimacy is the one place where the physical and the psychological collide in a way that can either build a fortress around your relationship or leave it feeling like a cold, empty hallway. Most people approach this side of a relationship with a sort of functional mindset, like they are just checking off a list of chores. But if you want to be the woman who is completely irreplaceable in his life, you have to understand that what you do with that specific piece of equipment is actually a direct line to his ego, his vulnerability, and his sense of connection to you. We are not just talking about mechanics here. We are talking about the language of desire. You see, there is a massive difference between someone who just knows how to operate the machinery and someone who understands the soul of the driver. When you get this right, you are not just giving him a good time, you are creating a feedback loop where he feels seen, desired, and utterly safe to be his most primal self with you. This is about taking the lead in a way that makes him feel like a king while you are the one holding the crown. I see so many brilliant high-value women who have the conversation down, they have the career down, they have the emotional intelligence down. But when they get behind closed doors, they become passive because they are afraid of looking too eager, or they just do not know the moves that actually move the needle. But here is the secret. Men do not just want a partner who shows up. They want a partner who explores. They want to know that you are in the game with them, not just waiting for the game to be over so you can go back to scrolling on your phone. So today we are diving deep into the 3 things you should be doing with his joystick that will completely transform the way he views you and the way he connects with you. This is about intentionality. It is about playfulness. And most importantly, it is about building a bond that goes way beyond the physical. The first thing you need to realize is that the journey to the main event is often more important than the destination itself. Most women make the mistake of going straight for the gold, but if you want to drive a man wild, you have to learn the art of the detour. Think of it like this. If you were going to a 5-star restaurant, you would not want the waiter to just throw a steak on the table the second you sat down, would you? No, you want the atmosphere. You want the scent of the kitchen. You want the anticipation of that first bite. It is the same thing with his joystick. You have to learn how to build the tension before you ever even think about the final act. This is where the psychology of the tease comes in. You want to make him feel like he is starving for it, even when it is right in front of him. And why does this work so well? Because it forces him to stay present in the moment with you. It stops him from just going on autopilot and makes him focus on every single sensation. When you master this, you are not just a lover, you are an experience. And that is what we are going for here. We are going for the kind of experience that he thinks about while he is sitting in a boring meeting on a Tuesday afternoon. We are going for the kind of connection that makes him realize that no one else in the world knows him or handles him quite like you do. So let us get into the first big move. The first thing you should do is what I call the slow burn recognition. This is not about the act of pleasure, yet this is about the act of appreciation. Men spend so much of their lives feeling like they have to perform, like they have to be the ones in control. And when you take a moment to just admire the joystick, to acknowledge it, to treat it with a sense of reverence and playfulness, it signals to him that he does not have to do anything but be there with you. You are taking the pressure off his shoulders and putting the focus on the pure physical connection. Why does this matter? Because a man who feels appreciated in his most vulnerable state is a man who will move mountains for you. It is about building that safety. When you are looking at it, when you are touching it with light, curious touch, like you are discovering a hidden treasure for the first time, it triggers a biological response in him that says, this woman is truly into me. It is not a performance for her, she actually wants this. And that realization is more of an aphrodisiac than any fancy lingerie or perfume could ever be. You are validating his masculinity while simultaneously inviting him into a space of complete intimacy. This is where the magic happens. This is where you move from being just another person he has been with to being the only person he wants to be with. Because in that moment, you are giving him something that most men rarely get, a sense of pure, unadulterated desire that is focused entirely on him. It is a powerful thing, and when you use it correctly, it changes the entire dynamic of the room. You become the pilot, and he is more than happy to let you take the controls. Now let us talk about the rhythm, because this is where most people get stuck in a rut. They find one thing that works, and they just repeat it until it becomes as predictable as a metronome. But the second thing you should do with his joystick is break the pattern. You have to understand that the brain craves novelty. If you do the same thing every time, the brain eventually just tunes it out. It becomes background noise. But when you change the tempo, when you change the pressure, when you go from a soft whisper of a touch to something firm and demanding, you are keeping his nervous system on high alert in the best possible way. This is why you need to experiment with the different gears. Think of it as a conversation. Sometimes you are whispering sweet no things, and sometimes you're having a heated debate. Your hands and your mouth should be telling a story. Why do you do this? Because it shows that you are paying attention. It shows that you are an active participant in the pleasure, not just a spectator. When you vary the rhythm, you are essentially saying, I know what you like, but I also know how to surprise you. And that element of surprise is what keeps the spark alive long after the honeymoon phase is over. It keeps him guessing, it keeps him engaged, and it makes every single encounter feel like a brand new adventure. You are not just going through the motions, you are composing a symphony. And the best part is that he will start to mirror your energy. He will start to become more adventurous. He will start to become more communicative, because you have set the standard for what intimacy looks like in your relationship. You are showing him that it is okay to be creative. It is okay to be bold, and it is okay to step outside of the box. This is how you build a sex life that actually evolves with you as a couple, rather than one that just fades away into the distance. It is about being a student of his body and a master of your own confidence. When you combine those two things, you become unstoppable. You are creating a loop of excitement that feeds back into the emotional connection you have during the day. Because the truth is, what happens in the bedroom never stays in the bedroom. It bleeds out into how you talk to each other, how you support each other, and how you view your future together. If the physical connection is vibrant and daring, the emotional connection will follow suit. You are building a foundation of shared secrets and shared thrills that no one else can touch. And that is the real power of the joystick. It is a tool for connection, for exploration, and for building a bond that is as strong as it is exciting. So do not be afraid to change things up. Do not be afraid to be the one who suggests a new direction or a new speed. He's going to love it because it shows that you are invested in his pleasure as much as your own. And that kind of investment is the hallmark of a high-value woman who knows exactly what she wants and exactly how to get it. This is about taking ownership of the experience and making it something truly extraordinary for both of you. Now that you have mastered the art of the detour and the psychology of the rhythm, we have to talk about the third and perhaps most powerful thing you can do with his joystick, and that is to become the director of the scene. You see, most people think that intimacy is something that just happens to them, but the truly high value woman understands that intimacy is something she creates through her own agency and her own voice. The third thing you should do is use your words to steer the ship. I am not just talking about dirty talk, although that has its place. I am talking about directional confidence. When you are handling his joystick, you have the power to tell him exactly what feels good for you, while you are making him feel like the greatest lover on earth. This is a massive psychological win, because one of a man's greatest fears in the bedroom is the fear of incompetence. He wants to please you, but he is not a mind reader. When you take the lead and tell him a little bit faster or right there or don't stop, what you are doing is giving him the ultimate gift, which is the gift of success. You are making him feel like a winner. And why does this matter for the relationship? Because a man who feels like he is winning with you is a man who is going to be addicted to being around you. You are creating a space where he does not have to guess, and he does not have to worry about whether he is doing it right. You are the one in control of the narrative. This builds a level of trust that goes so deep it becomes the bedrock of your connection. When you are vocal and when you use your voice to guide the experience, you are signaling that you are a woman who knows her own worth and her own desires. You are not just a passenger in the car. You are the navigator with the map. And believe me, there is nothing more attractive to a man than a woman who is comfortable enough in her own skin to say, this is what I want, and this is how we are going to do it. It shows a level of sophistication and maturity that sets you apart from every other woman he has ever been with. Most people are too shy or too embarrassed to speak up, but you are going to be the one who breaks that barrier. You are going to use your voice to amplify the physical sensation and turn it into an emotional peak. Think about the power of a whisper right in his ear while you are working the joystick. It creates a multi-sensory experience that bypasses his logical brain and goes straight to his lizard brain. It triggers a level of intensity that he cannot find anywhere else. And the reason this works so well is because it creates a feedback loop of reinforcement. He does something you like, you tell him. He is doing it right, his confidence soars, he gets more into it. And the whole experience elevates to a level you never thought possible. This is how you move from just having sex to having a transformative experience. You are building a bridge between your physical bodies and your emotional spirits. And let us be honest for a second here. Intimacy is often the first thing to go when a relationship gets comfortable. We get lazy, we get bored, we stop trying. But when you implement these three things, you are essentially future-proofing your relationship. You are making sure that the fire never goes out because you are constantly adding new fuel to it. You are showing him that you are a woman of infinite depth and that there is always something new to discover about you. This is what keeps a man coming back for decades, not just weeks. He needs to feel that spark, that sense of danger and excitement that only comes when two people are truly exploring each other. By taking charge of the joystick, by varying your approach and by using your voice to guide the way, you are becoming the architect of his greatest memories. You are the one who is providing the escape from the mundane world. When he is with you, nothing else matters. The bills, the stress, the work, it all fades away because you have created a sanctuary of pleasure and connection. And that is a very powerful position to be in. It gives you an incredible amount of influence in the relationship, not because you are manipulating him, but because you are providing something so valuable that he would be a fool to let it go. You are becoming his peace and his passion all at once. I want you to think about the last time you really felt connected to him. Was it a conversation or was it a moment of physical closeness? Usually it is a combination of both. And that is what these techniques are designed to do. They are designed to blend the physical and the emotional into one seamless experience. When you are working the joystick with that level of intentionality, you are telling him, I see you, I want you, and I am here with you. It is the ultimate form of validation. And every man at his core just wants to be seen and wanted. So many men go through their lives feeling like a utility, like they are just there to provide or to protect or to perform. But when you engage with him like this, you are reminding him that he is a human being with desires and needs, and that those needs are important to you. You are bringing out a side of him that he might not even show himself. You are tapping into his vulnerability and turning it into a strength. This is the secret source of long-term attraction. It is about creating a safe space for him to be wild, and a wild space for him to feel safe. If you can balance those two things, you will have him eating out of the palm of your hand. And it all starts with how you handle that joystick. It starts with the way you look at it, the way you touch it, and the way you talk about it. It is about removing the shame and the awkwardness and replacing it with curiosity and confidence. I want you to stop thinking of it as a body part and start thinking of it as a direct link to his heart. Because when you treat it with respect and excitement, you are treating him with respect and excitement. You are showing him that you value his pleasure as much as your own, and that is the hallmark of a true partner. A high-value woman does not just take, she gives in a way that makes the other person want to give back even more. It is a cycle of generosity that starts in the bedroom and spreads into every other area of your life. When the intimacy is right, everything else becomes easier. The arguments are less intense, the communication is more open, and the bond is unbreakable. You are building a world that only the two of you inhabit. And that exclusivity is what makes a relationship feel special. It is the secret language that only you two speak. So the next time you find yourself behind closed doors, I want you to remember these three things. Do not just go through the motions. Do not just wait for it to be over. Take the lead. Be the pilot. Use your hands, your mouth, and your voice to create something extraordinary. Show him that you are not just his girlfriend or his wife, but his greatest adventure. Because when you do that, you are not just playing with a joystick. You are building a legacy of love and desire that will last a lifetime. This is about more than just a physical act. It is about the mastery of connection. It is about understanding the deep psychological triggers that make a man feel bonded to a woman. And when you pull those triggers with grace and confidence, you become the most powerful person in his world. You are the one who knows the combinations to his lock. You are the one who can turn him on and calm him down. You are his anchor and his sail. And that is a role that no one else can ever fill. So go out there and be bold, be unapologetic about your desire. Show him exactly what he has been missing and make sure he never forgets what it feels like to be handled by a woman who truly knows what she is doing. This is your time to shine. And his time to be completely blown away by the incredible woman he has by his side. Let the joystick be the starting point for a brand new chapter in your relationship, one filled with more passion, more connection, and more excitement than you ever thought possible. And now we have to talk about the deeper layer of this entire experience, because if you only focus on the mechanics, you are missing the most profound part of the puzzle. The third thing you should do with his joystick is connect it to his eyes and his heart through the power of undivided presence and what I call the ultimate surrender of focus. See, in our modern world, we are all distracted. We are constantly looking at our screens, thinking about our to-do lists or worrying about the next day. But when you are in that moment with him, and you are engaging with his joystick, you have to make him feel like he is the only inhabitant of your universe. This means eye contact that lingers a little too long. It means a smile that tells him you are enjoying his pleasure as much as he is. And it means a level of focus that is so intense, it feels like a physical weight in the room. Why is this so vital? Because for a man, the joystick is not just an appendage. It is a barometer of his connection to the world and to you. When you give it your full presence, you are essentially telling him that he is enough. You are validating his entire existence in a way that words never could. You are saying, I see you, I want you. And nothing else matters right now but this connection. This is where you move from being a lover to being a muse. You are inspiring a level of devotion in him that is built on the foundation of being truly seen. Think about how rare that is in today's society. Most men feel invisible most of the time. They feel like they are just a cog in a machine. But when you handle his joystick with that level of intentional presence, you are pulling him out of the machine and back into his humanity. You are giving him a space where he can be completely raw and completely himself without judgment or expectation. And the reason this works so well for your relationship is because it creates a biological and psychological imprint of you as his primary source of comfort and excitement. He will start to associate your touch and your presence with a feeling of total acceptance and peak experience. This is how you become the woman who's etched into his DNA. This is how you create a bond that survives the stresses of life. It is not just about the physical release, it is about the emotional resonance that comes from being handled by someone who actually cares enough to stay present. And let us be real for a moment here, being present is a choice. It is a discipline. It requires you to put aside your own insecurities and your own distractions to focus entirely on the man in front of you. But the rewards are infinite. When you do this, you unlock a version of him that is more generous, more attentive, and more deeply in love with you than ever before. You are showing him that you are a high-value woman who understands that real intimacy is a shared journey, not a solo performance. You are inviting him to be your partner in the truest sense of the word. And that is why these three things are so important. They are not just about the joystick. They are about the relationship. They are about building a bridge between the physical and the spiritual. They are about creating a language of desire that is unique to the two of you. When you master the slow burn, when you break the rhythm with novelty, and when you use your voice and your presence to direct the experience, you are essentially becoming the architect of your own happiness. You are taking control of the narrative and making sure that your intimacy is a source of strength rather than a source of stress. You are showing him that you are worth the effort because you are putting in the effort yourself. And trust me, a man who sees you taking the lead in this way will be inspired to show up for you in every other area of his life. He will want to be the best version of himself for you because you have shown him what is possible when two people are truly connected. This is the secret to a thriving long-term relationship. It is about keeping the curiosity alive and never stopping the exploration. It is about realizing that your sexuality is a gift and that you have the power to use it to build something beautiful. So do not let another day go by where you just go through the motions. Do not settle for a sex life that is predictable and stale. Take these tools and use them to transform your connection. Be bold, be playful, and most of all, be present. Show him that you are the woman who knows how to handle his joystick and his heart with equal parts skill and soul. Because when you do that, you are not just giving him a good night. You are giving him a reason to stay for a lifetime. You are creating a sanctuary of passion that will sustain you both through whatever challenges come your way. This is your power. This is your agency. And this is how you become the most unforgettable woman he has ever known. Go out there and create the intimacy you deserve. Start treating that joystick like the precious connection it really is, and watch how your entire world shifts in response. You have everything you need to be the pilot of your own pleasure and the director of your own romance. Now go and show him exactly what a high-value woman is capable of when she decides to take the controls. This is the beginning of a whole new level of connection for you, and I cannot wait for you to experience the magic that happens when you finally embrace your full potential in the bedroom and beyond. You are ready, you are capable, and you are more than enough. Go make it happen.